Hello, my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross-watchers. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. They're my initials. I'm not bad, it's just spelled that way. I am a professional witch, a professional intuitive, the president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998, and author of 2 books at the time of this timeless recording, Spell Ingredients from a Professional Witch and Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. There is a Kindle version available of Words of Grace, and there is a link in the description box that will allow you to preview the first chunk of it for free, including the table of contents. And you would see that it's primarily broken down into chakra chapters, different prayers, practices, and principles, different graces in each chakra. There's chakras in this reading, so you might find it helpful. And the Kindle version is sweet, it's pretty, it's clean, it's pristine. Can't really hold a candle to the original version over on Patreon. A visual chakra spectrum of Fellini Film Fest of imagery, and I love that book very, very much. And you can purchase it in our store as well as Spell Ingredients, because Patreon gave us a digital store. Coolest thing. Don't even need to be a subscriber to shop. All of my subscribers get 3 benefits in common. Some of them even get those books as part of their benefit package, but all of them get a daily check-in when I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link pretty much every single morning, and we chat about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always with the ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something to send us on our way. And it's a pretty good way for me to start my day, considering I am moving my house at the end of Mercury retrograde at the time of this recording, and it's just lovely to check in with my friends. Hey Pam, love you sweetheart. They also get all the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s. There's no extended for this one, but all of the extendeds are long. There's a bunch of them. They're all relationship, soul contract based stuff. The third benefit that all of my subscribers get is an extensive discount on private sessions with me. Spiritual counseling, readings, all of that stuff, in person, live, all of that. And we will talk about that at the end of the reading. But I will say, we also have 2 7-day free trials, Seeker and Human, the first 2 levels of subscription on my Patreon platform. And everybody who has done it has stayed for at least a month, right? They did the 7 days, they stayed the month, so they could get the discount on the reading. So, you know, of course, that's cool. We'll talk about that too at the end of the reading. Otherwise, I love it so very, very much. You can follow us without being a subscriber. I am posting more and more public content over there. So if you feel so drawn, if you feel so called, if you feel that intuitive, okay, click the link, check it out, and come Patreon on Patreon. Because I am the Archangel of Lions, Angelo Lyons. But you can just call me Mal. Hey, my Scorp's been a crazy day. I turned off my phone. I said, that's it. Let me go do what I love. Because work, career, vocation is a thing, right? So let's talk about it. We'll do some explanation for the new Scorpios and Crosswatchers, and we will jump ahead into the divination. Feel free to jump ahead in the video, although we've changed some things up this time around for this series because I am moving. We usually do more than 10 cards. This one you're getting 10 cards. And let's talk about it. Your life purpose. It's a great, big, huge thing. This is a 3 levels of power reading, which allows us to take something great, big, huge like that and break it into 3 interconnected, really one thing, levels of power: work, career, vocation. Work, how you survive. Your career, your passion, your hunger, your thirst, your vocation, your spiritual calling. And the idea is to bring them into alignment. Maybe not in all one place. I don't make my money in my work. I make it in my career, right? Producer and president. No, it's a lot of work that I don't get paid for. I get paid for doing this stuff and readings and the stuff that is my passion, my thirst. And my vocation is as a mystic. My intimate connection and relationship with the divine is really the most important thing to me. So I get to do all 3 pretty much in one day. So that I can do what I came in to do in this life, and that's what these readings are for. And yeah, these are the money reads too. Like, don't kid yourself, this is absolutely about finances too. So We're going to start with 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards. The first 9 cards are going to be face down anyway. These talk about the archetypes that are in the 8th chakra. So you get 3 8th chakra cards. I learned about the 3 levels of power from Caroline Myss, MYSS PhD, in a video that you can check out on YouTube. At least part 1 is in the description box if you would like to check that out. The 8th chakra system I learned from her book, Anatomy of the Spirit, which was life-changing and revelatory. And of course, we are using her archetype cards, which are a companion to her work in Sacred Contracts, which is unbelievably transformative. It's a lot of work, but it's worth doing. So, after we get those 3 on the table for the 8th chakra, we will get 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the next 4 chakras down: crown, third eye, throat, and heart, work, career, vocation. Then we will get the lower 3 solar plexus, sacrum, and root with the Mythic Tarot for the masculine energy. So we got yin and yang, internal, external, relationships in the physical world as well. And we will end with a Mat Khan healing mantra to help heal, right? To bring it into alignment. To alchemize the shadow to light, the lead to gold, the pain to peace, the toxic to healthy, the fear to love. That's what these cards are about, because there are 3 atoms in between lead and gold on the periodic table that cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed, released. Alchemized is the language I use, so that you shift to a more golden timeline rather than leaded, and not all at once. Sometimes people do, people call it a quantum leap. Sometimes it's that big of a healing or an alignment that things, they shift to another quantum reality where things line up for them a bit more. And I've been doing these readings for clients for decades, since I learned about work, career, vocation. And what, you think I don't do these for myself? Of course I do. So I guess that's enough explanation. Let's dive into the divination. We'll find the still point. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I promise you, I will do the best that I can to help anybody fulfill their sacred contracts, their life purpose, work, career, vocation, so that they can be happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser, in this case, Scorpios and cross-watchers, in happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser ways, for a happier, wealthier, wiser world for all of us. I mean, I don't know, it seems worth it. So let's get into the still point, and let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Here we go. Still point. Pantheonic override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. Beloved pantheons of the divine, I need 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards face down, work, career, vocation for the Scorpio and the collective. There is their work. What's going on in their career, 8th chakra, and what's going on in their vocation for the Scorpio and crosswatcher. Work, career, vocation, read. Get these next 3 down. Internal, feminine energy, goddess energy. The stuff you don't tell people unless you want to, right? What's going on behind your eyes. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My goddesses, override. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all, with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. Beloved goddesses, what's going on? Heart, third eye, crown, in work. For the Scorpios and or the cross-watchers. 2nd level of power dominant here. Heart, third eye, crown dominant here. What's going on there in their career, their hunger, their passion, their thirst, their creative intuition? Whether or not it's internal, if it can be externalized, what's going on there, right? Taking creativity from the outside in. And what's going on, heart, third eye, crown, in their vocation, their spiritual calling, particularly that crown chakra and all of that. going on there in this timeless Work-Career-Vocation read. We're going to get these 3 down, and then we'll flip them. First, all 3 in work, then we'll move through. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space. For the well-being of all. And with harm to none. As we will it. So let it be done. This feels really good. Okay. My gods, please override. What's going on for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Suns, and their cross-watchers, lower 3 chakras, outside in, inside out, relationships in the physical world, in the first level of power, lower 3 chakra, dominant, work. What's going on in their career, lower 3 chakras, relationships in the world, and what's going on in their vocation, outside in, inside out, relationships in the world, looking at themselves, them looking at people, places, and things for this timeless work, career, vocation reading. Got some serious water effects going on in the house today to mask what's going on outside. So let's start flipping. Okay, there's water. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start. The 3 archetypes are in the title, as is the mantra. The teacher archetype. Now, you do not have to be a literal teacher to have the teacher archetype. I am a spiritual teacher. My mother still is, but, was a nursery school teacher. Now she's, doing advanced education in her retirement. So written on this card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute. Shadow to light, light to gold, pain to peace. 3 atoms in between here. This sets up the tone for all the other chakras, right? It's beams down like a satellite the codes and shifts what we attract and repel electromagnetically. Wisdom, family, archetype. Now, we know the shadow teacher. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. Manipulating or abusing students. Have you pudding when you haven't eaten your meat. Teaching negative traits and destructive skills, and that's rampant on planet Earth and pretty much always has been. But check the light. Ability to communicate. Knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom. And wisdom is something that you've lived through, that you've experienced directly. So yes, the knowledge part of that is the teacher writing it on the board. But, like when the driver's ed teacher has to sub for chemistry, it's not always a good thing. Flashback. So interesting, wisdom, family, archetype there, considering you got the 5 of Cups. Heart, third eye, crown. I'm going to say definitely heart. Element of water, emotion there. There's some emotional upset there. It's not necessarily sadness. I would call it turbulence, right? Turbulent waters. The card is called the Storm in the Daughters of the Moon, and all storms pass, so it's a 5. You'll make your way to your 10. Particularly considering you've got the Tower card, lower 3 chakras. When it's a major arcana card, it's all 3 in this case. The chakras in that zone would be 4 if it was Daughters of the Moon. Poseidon. I mean, come on. He's one of my gods of Scorpio. The Earth Shaker. Now, the thing about the Tower is people freak about the Tower, and I understand, the usual verbiage around it is destructive, and it is a destructive card. But it is often to our benefit. Things change in this world, and they often change without us having any idea, no matter how intuitive we are. Hello. Right? Some things we're not supposed to know until we know them. But when lightning strikes, maybe once, maybe twice, you're welcome. This could be a moment of enlightenment. This could be something that had a faulty foundation that changes instantly. Now, is it always reduced to rubble? Sometimes. And so you rebuild, but on a healthier foundation. But lower 3 chakras, I would say, definitely pay attention. Using the 3 voices of each chakra, right? The solar plexus goes, if it's not for me, right? Second chakra goes, it really does. Scorpio's there's your zone. And the root chakra is that fight or flight, right? It's instinct, right? Pay attention to that because there's a big change coming there. And what you will teach as a result of this, or maybe this is a result of you teaching, hopefully by example, that's the best way to start at least, then there is a rapid change here. But I gotta say, for a Scorpio, delivering lightning like this while you're at storm, tricky, Wrong! Do it again! Wrong! Do it again! I'm sure that teacher was a Scorpio, I'm pretty sure, considering it's fictional. Well, this is a whole other kettle of scorpions here. You got the Don Juan in your career. Now, it's a wild card family archetype. Can show up in any way, shape, or form. In a work, career, vocation read, of course, it speaks a little bit of romance, but let's dive into this a little bit. The shadow attribute, using the power of romantic attraction for private agenda. Okay, Scorpios, come on, right? It's a car salesman. I gendered it. Right, a hot waiter. I was like, I'll take whatever you say. You know what I mean? And they flirt a little. I know it's completely inappropriate, but I'm Generation X. I've got Neptune retrograde in Scorpio, like most of Generation X. I think it's retrograde, don't remember. So what's the light, right? The light part of it, the gold, spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. And apparently you're learning how to do that with the Eight of Pentacles on the inner. You've got a nice solid wisdom there, but get in that place of like, I'm learning. Look, I've never met a Scorpio that didn't have that extra, I won't say darker side. I mean, obviously Pluto ruled, but certainly that power. I mean, second chakra is usually the Scorpio area. Let's just leave that under the table, I guess I should say. And it is about money, sex, and power. It is very second chakra. It is very one-on-one relationship. So, get that you are learning something as you go through this. A crone teaching a maiden how to, weave a native blanket that she was taught by her grandmother, on and on. There's one here showing her work, right? Just be willing to learn. All right, I'm learning how to do this. I'm learning how to do this. Because, darlings, you got Prometheus bound, the Hanged Man, lower three chakras. That's two major arcana in a row. Now, considering the other one is the Tower, certainly you might have to put your career, not necessarily on pause, but understand, okay, there's something, like I'm still learning. Are you willing to sacrifice a point of view? Now, with the teacher, I think then that is something that you will learn something from this, right? The learner, and then you see things differently, hopefully voluntarily. Prometheus was not hung upside down. Voluntarily, he stole fire from the gods, his nieces and nephews, essentially. He's a Titan. And so that humanity would not be so very dependent upon the gods, so that they could have fire, right? Gods didn't like that. Hung him upside down from a rock in Tartarus, which is as far below the underworld as the underworld is below this world. Really, that's the furnace down there, an alchemical engine, if you will. Hung him upside down so a bird could come and eat his liver every day, and because he's immortal and kept growing back, he's been released. There was parole. It's one thing I like about Tartarus. They do have a rehabilitation program. They just send you back to this planet forgetting everything you know. There is a sacrifice here. What are you willing to sacrifice? Is it a point of view? I mean, that's why I always go back to the All-Father Odin, right? Plucked out his eye, hung himself upside down from the world tree Yggdrasil, proper way of saying it, or so I was taught, and gave that eye to the Norns for the runes and other cash and prizes, right? Sacrificed something of immense value, but got something a lot more as a result. So are you willing to see things differently? Just a thought. Pay attention to your lower three chakras. Okay, vocation. Let's see the spiritual part. Wow, that makes sense. That makes sense, and that makes sense. All right, you got the Hermit. Now, I love the Hermit archetype. You can have an archetype, a reason, season, or lifetime, by the way, or be dealing with, like if you're dealing with a Don Juan in your workspace, regardless of biological gender, keep an eye out for that one, right? Let it go, I would say, with the Hanged Man. But I love the Hermit. Comes for me in seasons. The lead, the shadow, withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others. Have you met people? I mean, really? Refusing to help those in need, though, that's a no-go. I'm a Virgo. Like, I am hardwired to serve people that way. The light attribute, seeks solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. I didn't even realize I had the Hermit archetype until during the pandemic. I caught myself in a mirror wearing a brown fluffy robe and sandals. I was like, oh, it looked so much like a hermit, like a monk. I was so there. So very, 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 very powerful, spiritual, but a wisdom family archetype. So you've got 2 wisdoms, one in your work and one in your vocation, but with a wild card, I think this is your leverage. Usually one of the 3 levels shows you where the leverage is, although I will say you have the 9 of Pentacles here. So you go from the 8 to the 9. I mean, it's not a numeric progression, past, present, future read, but it bodes well. Appraisal, right? The 7. You go from the 8 to the 7, back 1. So there is the Hermit, right? Appraising. When you have a house appraised, what are you doing? The essential value of it, right? A ring, a stone. You may find out what the stone is, but an appraisal you usually want to know what is it, what's it worth, right? So that makes sense with the Hermit. But with the Cancerian card here, the King of Cups, Cardinal Water, got to talk about this. This can absolutely be a person in your life. Whether or not they have planetary placements in Cancer, I think, is a moot point. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. A lot of people don't know their moon sign, right? Everybody knows their sun sign. Look it up, right? Look it up in a newspaper, if they still exist. This is Orpheus. Brilliant bard, beautiful poet, couldn't follow directions to save, well, I would say his wife's life, but read the myth. Definitely an emotional card. If this is a person in your life, this is someone who might have some emotional maturity, some sensitivity. 4th house dynamic, home, right? The emotional aspect, not just the physical house, but the actual home. And creative water there, or it could be you from the outside looking in at yourself, holding this place. It's like, I'm going to be cool, right? I'm not storm in my work, but I can be mature about this. Like, it's okay to have these feelings, because these feelings, believe it or not, have value, right? You're gaining wisdom from them. Most creative blocks I've seen in anybody work, career, vocation is usually about the repression of uncomfortable emotions. And, I get the whole law of attraction thing and all of that, but, it just feeds the shadow, right? It's like, here, let's jam some more. Repress for success used to work for other generations. It just don't work anymore. Higher the vibration on the planet gets, the more that shit's boiling to the surface, right? So, to take a step back, very much the Scorpio thing there, right? To take some hermit time for yourself and really assess from, in terms of, let's say, a larger arc of your calling, right? Because I know what my creativity is, and I know what my work in the world is, but my calling is really here to serve on a higher level, right? As bringing people together with spirit. That's the corporate tagline, motto, whatever, mission statement of Drawing the Circle Productions, and it has been for over 25 years. So to bring this into alignment, I do feel like you're being given a little bit of a roadmap here saying, look, pull back, right? And this is about work, career, vocation. You can still have people in your life when you're in a hermit mode, but to really go into your spiritual mystical power, right? Get into that 8th chakra and see it from that place, and then you'll see what's of value to you in terms of your larger life arc purpose, if you will, your calling, while you sort of allow those creative juices to flow, if this is you from the outside looking in, but also, again, paying attention, even if that is looking at the Scorpio from the outside, really pay attention to what's going on in those lower chakras. I would say particularly the 2nd chakra, if money is involved in this. This is a very, very powerful read. 2 major arcana cards, a good placement of Earth, and you've got 2 water cards, 2 water cards, 2 earth cards, and 2 major arcana. All right, let's get the Matt Kahn healing mantra, and then we'll put this all together in a blessimation, and then we'll talk about cool stuff if you want to hang around for that. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Masters override. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. Beloved Ascended Masters, what's the perfect healing mantra to help the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their quathwachas alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxicity to health, their fear to love, shifting from illusion to truth, fulfilling their life purpose in their work, career, vocation with the teacher, the Don Juan, and the Hermit in this contract, in this timeless work, career, vocation read. Befriending pain. When discomfort becomes a friend, my most limiting beliefs are healed. And I would just like to add, as a side note to that, any kind of pain. Like even stress, right? You can consider that you're not at ease. I know, dis-ease. It's a funny way to play with that word, I guess. Not so funny. But discomfort of any kind, emotional, right? That could be, right? What's going on here with this Five of Cups, right? When discomfort becomes a friend, my most limiting beliefs are healed. And we'll talk about that in a second. But the truth is like that is, when I say we got to feel it to heal it, it's element of water. It's supposed to flow through us. Otherwise it gets stagnant and manky, right? So, free will. We all have free will about befriending pain, but that's why I like what he writes about here as to why to befriend it, not just to be spiritual. And, you know, there's no sense in emotional bypassing anymore. How else are they going to heal? Befriending pain. When discomfort becomes a friend, my most limiting beliefs are healed. When you befriend pain, you are allowing limitations to be released from the cells of your body. And there you go. Just that. The ancestral patterns passed down from century to century. How about millennia to millennia, right? Major, like the fear of this and, you know, that stuff, like, right? Fight or flight and all of that, which we need, you know, in certain situations. But just because the bill can't get paid doesn't mean the village is going to burn down, although it can feel that way. Because pain is often the result of rapid transformation, it is essential to make friends with it in recognition of how quickly you are evolving. That's not easy, but it does work. It might be uncomfortable and sometimes nearly unbearable, but your most profound shifts in consciousness often occur once pain is befriended as an ally of your evolution. And that's what happens after the storm has passed. You get the transcendence. You've done the alchemy. You're no longer that much in lead. You are a little bit more golden, right? As a result of boom, right? This could be an instantaneous change and a shock, right? This mantra is ideal for healing the body, mind, and soul on an energetic level. You could say body, mind, soul. You can do that. Makes sense. Let's put this together for you in a little blessimation, and then we'll talk about cool stuff. And again, both feet on the floor if you can. Here we go. One more time. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Let us end as we began. Pantheonic override. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers watching this video and drawn to this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxicity to health, their fear to love, shifting from illusion to truth, fulfilling their contracts and their life purpose in their work, embracing their ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, and wisdom while they weather and ride out the storm within them that is certainly brought about by some tower moment in their work, something abrupt. Everybody has a right to go Five of Cups when the Tower card hits. That's part of being in a human nervous system, yet an immortal being at the same time. And may they be blessed with all that they need in their career to spotlight their positive, seductive qualities. Well, wow. While they learn how to do that in a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser way with the Eight of Pentacles within, and maybe surrendering their ideas of what needs to happen here. Not so much jumping off the cliff of the Fool, but of the Hangman voluntarily inverting themselves to see things differently as they go, really paying attention to lower 3 chakras and all of this, because what if it's all to their benefit? What if it's all part of the ineffable great plan? And for them to maybe help see that and grok that, may they be blessed with all that they need to seek solitude, to focus intently on inner life, serving their personal creativity as they appraise, as they assign value. Was it worth it? Do I want to plant this again? Let's raise it to the ground and salt the earth. Now let's give it a shot. Back and forth, while they feel this out with someone who is represented as the King of Cups, probably someone who's emotionally mature, someone they can confess to, a confessor, or if this is them, really stoking their creative water, their cardinal water, and how they bring this creativity in alignment with the truth of who they are and their life calling. So may they be blessed with all that they need to heal, to grow, to learn, to evolve, to be the best that they can be, a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser version of themselves, in a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser way, for a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world in the golden timeline, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So will it be, and so it is. Good God, Scorpio. It's never a dull read, I will say that. If you did like it, please hit the thumbs up, do the YouTube-y stuff. Subscribe if you like. Hit the notification bell, if it rings your bell, so to speak. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Comment if you like, and by all means do check me out on Patreon. They're getting such good stuff behind the scenes that really no one else is seeing. We're doing certain workshops, live streaming it, or Zoom recording it, so even if you jumped in today, you could have access to the ones we've already done. We've got the store over there, we've got the 7-day free trials, we even have our podcasts available now through Patreon on Spotify. I didn't think I would ever be on Spotify, and now I am. I'm kind of digging that a lot. And the daily check-ins are one of my favorite things on planet Earth. The extended readings, there's an awful lot of them, and I'm glad people are still getting something out of them, considering some of them I did 4 years ago. I think I started the YouTube-y stuff then that way. And certainly, if you the extended readings, I'm glad to give them the extended discount, but you only get that discount if you are a subscriber. So let's talk about that. With or without patriotic intervention, not just patriotic intervention, there is a link in the description box, a video called Booking Private Sessions with Mal. It covers everything you need to know, how to reach out to me, how to make it work, whether I'm traveling, face-to-face, spiritual counseling, half-hour power, readings, and all of that stuff. And since I shifted my reading schedule to get my house ready to sell and moving upstate New York, I can often take a client in less than 24 hours, sometimes day of, if that's how the timing is that day. So yeah, I'm very, very, very happy to be doing what I am doing as a professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Like I said, I've been doing these readings for clients for a very, very, very long time. And really, one-on-one is a general read. A one-on-one, sometimes it is just so obvious. It's like the cards literally talk, well, symbolically talk to them. Otherwise, you know, it's a bit of a puppet show. So I just want to thank you all so much for watching. Going through a lot here at the home office of Drawing the Circle Productions, but you know, I get by with a little help from my friends. I love you, Pam. Sorry, last night we hung out. Ladies' night, it was great. So anyway, wishing you all the very, very best and the very, very blessed in your work, career, vocation, my beloved 8th house, Scorpios. Hang in there. You can do this. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.